My project that I will be talking about today is how Native American culture and beliefs were tied to the myths and stories that they told. Culture is how a certain group of people lived everyday life. This can be distinguished by their values, beliefs, and behavior, depending on where and what tribe you were in, depended on your culture. There were over 100 different types of cultures and over 562 different tribes. Some examples were the Apache, Cherokee, and Cheyenne. Here's a video showing what the different people of the tribes looked like. The Native Americans didn't write down their myths in ancient texts but told them through their stories. This is called oral tradition. Before the arrival of the Europeans and the spread of European influence, Native Americans did not use written language. Their myths and languages were passed through generation to generation in oral form. Storytellers would sometimes use special objects such as stone carvings, shells, rugs, or art illustrations such as cave drawings to tell the story. Native Americans used storytelling to capture historical moments and to keep their culture, customs, religions, and language preserved and unique so that they could transfer it down to their children. These myths were told to answer questions about the origin of the earth and could also comfort people when they were afraid, giving them a sense of culture identity. They were also to teach lessons, focus on the world and how man's presence on earth was temporary, and that words had special powers. In these myths, there are recurring themes that can be seen in almost all Native American stories. Some of the traditional values were that everything is sacred from the biggest mountain to the smallest plant, showing that everything has a purpose in this world. They also believed that health came from harmony between man and nature, and that it is important to have a balance between your body, mind, and soul. Another important factor was that elders hold the answer. They help keep the culture alive and show that wisdom is gained through age and experience. Another one is that family needs were more important than self-needs, and it was also really important to them that you kept your word. Native American traditional literature is an important source of identifying and understand tribal traditional values and beliefs. Numerous Native American tales depict crossing various thresholds, transformation that allows characters to go in and out of the spirit world. Most stories are spiritual and based with nature connections such as animals, water, sky, and fire. Native American myths include all types of stories of heroic journeys and creation. The most common is a trickster myth. Trickster characters can be either positive and be helpful, or they can be negative, where they are unpredictable, deceptive, and even violent. Tricksters are almost always male. They represent uncertainty. He loves to upset things and spread confusion. Sometimes his acts are pranks, but often they have a cruel side as well. Tricksters may also be a culture hero when his pranks benefit humans. An example would be when he steals fire or sun and benefits the humans. A character that is known throughout most Native American myths is Coyote. He taught man how to live, but plays tricks on him. Coyote is known for his crafty intelligence. He is strong and ferocious appetite. Depending on what myth, he can be a culture hero or he can be a danger who shows greed, recklessness, and arrogance. He can also be a comical trickster or a clown who lacks wisdom, getting him into trouble so that he has to use his cleverness to get him out. In some Native American stories, he can be seen as all three. An example of Coyote when he is a culture hero is in the story called Coyote and the Frog People. In this story, Coyote is on his way to the frog people, which have control of all the water and don't really want to share without getting something back. He finds a shell and trades it for drinking. He drinks forever and the frog people are confused and want him to finish, but while Coyote was drinking, he was digging underneath the dam that held all the water back. The dam ends up collapsing and the water flows freely now so that everyone can enjoy it. This shows Coyote giving water to people and shows him as a culture hero. An example of when Coyote is dangerous or should not be trusted in a story is the story about Saucy Duck Feather. In the story, Coyote meets Saucy Duck Feather and tricks her into having sex with him. He tells her to go ride this tree in the middle of the woods, and then if she does this, she'll have the whitest feathers. She does this. In the end, he leaves her and she's stuck with his kids. The last example I have about Coyote is an example of Coyote being a fool or a clown, lacking the wisdom and messing up. In this story, Coyote has this nice buffalo coat and finds a rock named Aya, and trades him. Well, later that day, it rains a bunch and Coyote is freezing. So he goes back to the rock and asks for his coat back. He says this is ridiculous. So, and the rock won't give it back to him. So he forces it and takes it. Later, this angers the rock and it chases Coyote. In the end, it flattens him, and a rancher comes up and puts him next to a fireplace, and he's like this rug. And the lesson at the end of the story was, if you have something to give it forever. In conclusion, Native American myths were very important because they help keep their culture and beliefs alive. I'm going to end this video today showing a video about an elder and how he's telling a story to the younger generation. Thank you.